Kia ora, welcome back everybody. Thank you for returning to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. Thank you very much for spending some time here. We're here for part 6, my reaction to Mr. DJ Shipley on the Shawn Ryan show. So let's jump in. Volume and play.
So the next thing, we have tourniquets on them. We are talking about what we're going to do now, and he is still engaging. And the JTAC-J starts prepping a fire mission, and it's close. It's the closest, at that point, is the closest fire mission to coalition forces the entire war.
No shit.
Yeah, 40.
Estimate.
10 meters, 15 meters.
10 fucking meters.
I mean, close enough to where you could take a grenade and throw it.
Holy shit.
I mean, like, it was. And they started walking him in. By this time, the other element we had maneuvered away.
For people that may not understand or may not realize, 10 meters fire mission, air support assets coming in, or whether they're using an AC 130, Lincoln, that's crazy. So yeah, Shawn's reaction, and close enough to where you could lob a grenade. That's how close that fire support and air mission and stuff is coming in on their position to take out the enemy. That's nuts. Crazy. I've never been in anything like that, not even remotely close, but I definitely have an appreciation and an understanding of not what that must have been like, but of the situation and of the what's the word I'm looking for? Bloody hopeless with the words. The severity of the rounds and the impact that they're taking and the devastation that it's having on their team. Multiple members hurt and injured, trying to get out of there, just getting hammered with this gun, and they need help ASAP. So far out. And incredible, those that would have been doing laying down the support. We haven't got to it yet, so I'm not sure. DJ will hopefully speak about it, but just the testament to the skill and accuracy of the Air Force and that in America and what they do. Just, yeah, much respect. Amazing.
Nobody was firing because we didn't have a picture. We didn't know where this dude was coming from. We didn't know where our forces were, and we thought that if we were to engage this guy, we would have hit our own blue forces. So there's a big lull in the fire, and we were basically just being withered. Yeah. We were just getting chewed up. I mean, strobes are getting shot off helmets, like it's in there, and they're everywhere but hitting human beings. So we've essentially taken the tractor and we've stacked up plates in between them on our sides, and now we're just working on people. We're laying on top of people, doing whatever we can. And Jay's prepping for a fire mission, and he's asking for 25 mic and 40 mic, and basically to start walking it in. And I remember a distinct conversation. They said no. They said it's too close. And he said, we're going to fucking die anyway. Juliet Alpha, send it. Gave his initials, and they started dropping it, and you could feel it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. You could feel the vibrations start to get closer and closer and start to bounce you off the ground a little bit, and kept coming. And then they started going tally on target. And I mean, you could hear that dude, the impacts. You'd hear him smack. You could hear him screaming, and it was very satisfying. I just let him go. Like, let him go. Like, we're not walking back up that tree line again. Let that dude die. We called in for a medevac. They landed right on the X, right there where we were. We loaded him on there, and I jumped in. The corpsman had already been shot, so we had him, Maddie, and Jay Redmond. And we talk about the typical team guy shit sometimes about, if this happens, just put me out of my misery. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. If I get hit by an IED and it blows my dick off, just finish me. Like, people say that shit. Yeah. That would have been one of the times. If my face looks like this, put me down. And he was the most coherent, the most calm dude I have ever seen. Sitting upright, leaning forward, letting shit pour out of his face so he could breathe. And he didn't say much, man. I don't know if the shock hit him. I don't think he knew how bad it really was.
Holy crap.
So I'm working on Matty and the helo. We're kind of doing the whole comb thing, running down his fingers. We're finding bullet holes. We're trying to patch all this stuff up, and we get him back. Those helo pilots flew that bird so fast. I thought they were going to suck us out of the bird. But we had to shut the doors. I've never been in a 60 that flew that fast, ever.
Wow.
I mean, to this day. That thing was in a full attack mode the entire way back. It was the fastest shit I've ever been in. And thank God for it.
Much respect, man, to those pilots. Those that did that. I love that DJ's acknowledged the speed at which they flew those things, and the fact that he has never been in one that's ever flown that fast prior to or since then. Just a real testament to those pilots, man, and just their concern, their care, their desire to want to do their part. They may think it's a very small part, but in no way is it a small part at all. Like hearing DJ say, and thank God they did, sounds like lives were saved because of what they did, because of their actions, and that's awesome, heartwarming, and just tip cap moment too. If I had a cap on to those pilots that did that, and all of those who serve, man.
Some of the stuff you don't think about, like the tourniquets slipping, like now the compartment syndrome sets in, all the blood's getting pushed out, now it gets loose, now he starts blowing blood all out of it, like it's in my mouth, it's all over me, like I'm covered in it head to toe, like it looks like a scene out of Black Hawk Down on the back of that helo. Like there's just med kits everywhere and just people laid out. It's like another dose of reality. Team guys do get shot, and if you're not trained to handle that situation, you won't rise to that. Like if I wouldn't have been through TCCC, if all those dudes wouldn't have played out that exact scenario hundreds of times in training, I don't know what would have happened.
I'll have to research, find out what TCCC is for them. Clearly it's some type of trauma, high-level trauma medical training that they get based on what he was talking about, and all the soft tissue and all that sort of thing. Training that he was talking about before, in regards to the contact and his mate Maddie, and then plating up over them and treating them. And I think it was the other reaction where he spoke about his mate Maddie wanting the quick clot. But even before then, I forgot to mention in that other reaction, he was winding that tourniquet so tight that I think it was Maddie again saying, that's enough. And he was like, nah, a couple more turns just to really make sure that their blood was no longer coming out. The pain that would have been in, and then asking for the quick clot, and he was talking about he pretended to, rip it off and then put it on there because he knew the only way to get that stuff out was for them to have to cut it out, the doctors and that to have to cut it out once they get to that stage. So yeah, just, man, crazy, just nuts. So TCCC, I've got some homework to do, try and suss out what the TCCC stands for, unless they say it here in this interview.
Like, it's a testament to how good those dudes were prepared. That JTAC, the balls he had to drop that, the confidence he had in that AC-130 crew. Like, if you miss that thing, like your first round for windage, it was so close it could have killed us. It's like, that's a confidence. It was humbling, man.
Again, sorry to jump in. Just again, another acknowledgement to how skilled the Air Force is. The crew that were on there, the pilots, everybody that was involved in sending rounds down to save these guys. Just fantastic.
To get back from that thing, I remember we dropped those guys off. I wasn't there for the rest of the target. What happened after that? I was probably gone for an extra 2 hours, and I came back from the debrief, and I walked in, and I'm an emotional fucking wreck. I would have sworn that Matt was going to die for sure. Like, Jerry looked like he was dead. I never thought he'd make it. I mean, just the way his face looked, like it looked so bad.
Damn.
But outside of his arm, no real life-threatening injuries. Outside of a shit ton of cosmetic stuff. I mean, it's a really lucky way to get shot. Matty was a different animal. He got a bad infection, external fixators, it's all over the place in the hospital. A very surreal moment, especially for that deployment. Just that's how we're going to end this whole thing. It's a somber way to go home on that deployment. And I never really got to process it. I didn't have time. Just the whole reality of what had happened, kind of what we'd been through, together as a group. Being in firefights is one thing. Like being in that is completely different. Like just helpless.
I bet.
You couldn't shoot back. I couldn't do anything. I could just lay there and put my plates in front of that guy and hope he shoots me and not you. And give you a tourniquet. Outside of that, man, outside of moral support, like we're all just in this together.
I forgot to mention in the other video just prior to this one, when he spoke about rushing over and that it was just such a nice feeling to feel another human being's contact, one of his buddies next to him, and just hearing him speak about this particular incident, talking about his mates and his buddies and the fact that he didn't think, there's at least one of them that he didn't think was going to make it. He really thought Maddie was dead. They weren't able to fight back. They were really badly pinned down. But through all of that, what stands out to me, which is one of the reasons why I always wanted to join the unit, was around his thought process of putting his plates or his body in between his mate and the enemy that's firing there, and hoping that the rounds hit him and his plate and not his mate, so that his mate has a chance to go home. You can't, I don't think you can teach that. That's just my personal take. You either sign up wanting to go and serve and be in that job, understanding that that's a reality, that could happen, and it's already an intrinsic part of who you are. This is just my personal belief anyway. Take it right or wrong, take it for what it's worth, right or wrong. But man, there's a power in that. And when I'm listening to DJ speak and it really resonates, I can connect strongly with that personally. And I believe still to this day and trust that the men that I was fortunate and blessed to serve with, honored and privileged to serve alongside, that they feel the same way, that they felt the same way that they would have done had we been in a situation like that. Because that's what I feel I would have done for them. And it's, yeah, you can't teach that. They don't teach you that in the unit. You're not trained in and around that. It's just, I believe it's something that people like the DJs of the world, the Christian Craigheads of the world, the Kyle Morgans of the world, and many, many others, the Ben Robert Smiths, the Mark Donaldsons, other VC winners, Cameron Beards of the world, rest in peace, Cameron Beard, the Matthew Locks of the world, rest in peace to him as well. It's just something about that place which I believe brings it out. Anyway, sorry I'm rambling on, but just touches my heart anyway, hearing him speak like that and what he actually did, physically putting himself in between his mates, his brothers, his family, and the enemy's rounds coming in hard, and they couldn't even shoot back. That gives you an idea of how accurate and how on target that person's gunfire was onto them.
And I would have bet anything. There's no way we would have walked away from that. I thought we were dead after the initial contact. It was so close. It was so violent. And I think it was kind of that, not lackadaisical attitude, because we were definitely wired tight for that, but it's not reality until it's reality. Like, that's not going to happen. Yes, it is. Whether you want it to or not, it's happening right now. So, yeah, a lot of good lessons learned from that. A lot of stuff that I carry with me my entire life, even in training. A lot of guys will put on this Hollywood show during training. They'll run out there and they'll try to save the princess or some kind of crazy shit. No, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to get up and you have to say, cover me, and you have to go out and do that. And sometimes you have to call in danger close fire missions. Sometimes you have to run out there being shot already and drag back a dude to save his life. Like, there's no argument with that. That's the most heroic shit I have ever seen, ever.
Man, I'll just chime in here to say I would 100% agree. And you know what? Just a tip cap moment to. There's a few people that can't name them, but they've done some incredible things, and I can't name them. At least a few of them because they're still currently serving. At least one of them still in 2-2, and others serving in other units that have done just extremely heroic, courageous, incredible things to the level that likely should have and or could have been awarded a VC, but instead have been awarded the CGC, the Conspicuous Gallantry Cross. So for New Zealand, Australia, and I think UK, I think that's the second highest, like just below the Victoria Cross. And a CGC, I believe, means that your name, all that sort of stuff, doesn't need to be disclosed, unlike those that are a recipient of a VC award, where you see them, they're now sort of not public property, that's not the right word, but they're in the public eye, they're in the public view, whilst they're still actually operational members of the unit. So there's some amazing and incredible stuff. I'd love to, one day, not even on camera, but just speak with those guys, like Jamie Pinnell. He's been out and about on the podcasts, and it's great to see and hear. I haven't read his book yet, but I've listened to the man speak on several podcasts. I've got a few more reactions to do to his one as well, which I will get to. Thank you to those that have been asking. Sorry for going off on a tangent here, but it's just to tie in with what DJ's talking about, and he's talking about the most heroic stuff that he's ever seen. No doubt, I don't question it for a second, and I just agree with what he's saying, but also just acknowledging that there are a heck of a lot of brave men and women that have done some incredibly courageous and remarkable things, which we may never hear about. But I'm fortunate that I've heard, some of the bits and pieces of those that have been awarded a CGC and, medals of gallantry and that sort of stuff for their actions. And it'd be nice, hopefully one day, that they may share that information or feel comfortable sharing it, so that not only, predominantly so that we can learn and benefit from it, be the beneficiaries of it, just to have a bit of an insight into what it was like for them. So anyway, let's get back to DJ.
To this day, like, if I had one defining moment where I stood back and I was just starstruck, that's it. Like if I had to capture a 30-second clip of, you want to be a Navy SEAL? Why do you want to be one? Because people will do this for me. That'd be it. That'd be Jake on a fire mission, Maddie run out there, grab him back to Corman, dragging him back. It was a badass move.
That is some heavy shit.
Oh, fuck, man.
Damn.
So yeah, I'd almost been killed like 6-7 times on that deployment. It was getting rough, and that was kind of the last straw. We were about to do turnover. They medevaced all those guys home, and then they sent me back on the first bird. And when I landed, I went and saw Maddie in the hospital. His mom was in there, and it was cool, man. Like, then the connection to reality, because we hadn't had that before. I've never had a guy in a platoon be shot, and it gave me a really good insight on what happens when you actually get shot. Like, it's not the movies. It's not a graze. It's not like, oh yeah, he took it and he continued to fight for 6 hours and he doesn't miss a rotation. That bullet hits your bone. You're out of this program, maybe forever. You're definitely out of it for 9 months. Multiple surgeries, now infections and rehab and physical therapy, and you got to get cleared by the doctors and everything else. Everything that goes in behind the backside to get you back up and running. It wasn't a reality. We never had to deal with it. Like, I definitely take that forward now to training. Like, when we do simunition shit, I use that as a prime example. If you haven't seen what happens when a bullet hits human bone on the blue side or on the bad side, the bullet doesn't care. It's doing the exact same amount of damage. Like, you're out of the game for 6 months, man.
Yeah.
So But yeah, that was how we wrapped up 2007.
That's pretty fucking rough.
I'm looking at also Shawn Ryan. Just he's all in, man. He's zoned in and listening, and some of his reactions seem sort of similar to mine, and in the sense of he just seems blown away by what he's hearing. As am I. Grateful that DJ is here to tell the story, to share, not the story, to tell the blink and lived experience of what happened during those times. And we're only into the second deployment on this video. So, man, thank you to all of those who suggested this one. I can really see why you recommended it. Incredible. Awesome. I'm learning and taking away a heck of a lot from these interviews that have been conducted and that I've had the privilege to observe, watch, and learn from. So thank yous.
You keep in touch with all those guys still? Or?
Yeah, I was just texting with the JTAC, actually day before yesterday.
Really?
I'm trying to get him to come in and do the skateboard thing. Yeah, get some art therapy on, get the boys back together. I think everybody, whether those guys will admit or not, I don't give a shit. Like, that really fucked us up. Yeah, it's rough, man.
Yeah.
Got to sit there and just wait to die.
Damn.
Yeah, it was yeah, it's a surreal experience. Just the proximity of it. That's something that can't be overlooked. Like, it's different being pinned down from a couple hundred meters away. Like, you can get up and maneuver. Like, not this one. Like, if that dude would have stood up and just walked us down, it would have been over. So it's like all the lessons learned on laser placement, how to focus your nods, ambient conditions, everything else. It's like, I know now. It's like one more pearl. Yeah, lock that one away. I won't ever forget that again.
Damn.
So it's like everything, I think we kind of take that forward in the training now. It's like all these lessons have been learned, not because, we're superhuman, but because we're honest and we fuck things up. And everything you're doing right now, I've fucked up before.
I love that, eh? I've been talking with some of the candidates, applicants, through the 2 or 3 minute video that I put up, offering those that are genuine and serious about wanting to apply for either the New Zealand or the Australian SAS, because those are the only two that I have a good amount of experience in, to reach out. And so I've been working with a number of the candidates, and I've shared this before. Like, within those units, they've been the only units that I've been aware of and or observed, seen, heard, felt, that genuinely takes on that continuous improvement and learning and development through the mistakes, through identifying the 1%ers or the things that we didn't do quite right, either in training and or on operations, and then looking to try to refine that and be better, and owning those mistakes and the challenges and stuff that were identified, or the shortcomings that happened either in training and or again on operations. And that can only help letting egos go, letting that prideful aspect go, in terms of not wanting to be seen to have done anything wrong on an operation. I never ever once saw that or encountered that by any operators. Saw them, if anything, looking to take ownership of if they stuffed something up, if they didn't get something quite right, and looking to share that as quickly as they could to help others not have to make those mistakes, and to help others that are coming after to be even better prepared, better equipped. Like I said, that's another pearl. He will never ever forget it. Lessons that he still applies in his everyday life today. And no doubt lessons that he's sharing through the courses and stuff that he does. It's just unbelievable. Examples that he gave there, letting people know with the simunition stuff that he's talking about. That bullet hits you and hits your bone, you're out of the game for at least 6 months to 9 months. And then he spoke about all the other bits and pieces with the surgeries and the rehab and all that sort of thing. So, man, a lot of powerful lessons learned there, and just incredible people at the front line doing these things to try to make the world a better place.
There's no reason for you to make the same mistake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is just not being, not being mentally prepared for that situation. You thought you were, but I hadn't looked at it in a realistic lens yet. It was still video game mode. It was still training mode. That's not going to happen to me. Even though we were walking down, interlocked arms waiting to get shot, wasn't reality yet. He was scared shitless. I knew it was coming any moment, but until it goes loud, it's not real.
Fuck, man. How was it being home after that?
Terrible. I was fucked up, man. I was dating a chick at the time.
Sorry, I love that Shawn's asked this question. I also love that DJ, he's just raw and honest, man. This is gold for anybody considering thinking about going into the Special Forces unit, DEVGRU, Delta, SEALs, SAS, JTF2, wherever it is. Watching these, hearing the words from individuals like DJ puts it into perspective, like gives you, it'll do one of two things, in my personal opinion. It's either going to draw you in to want to go and do this job even more, or it's going to be a reality check for you to go, actually, I don't think I could do that. I've got a wife, I've got children, or I don't have a wife, or I don't have children, or I'd like to have a wife, I'd like to have children, whatever. It's either going to draw you in, or it's going to cause you to have significant doubts. And here's my take. If you are on the side of having significant doubts about whether or not it's for you, then I would suggest it's probably not for you. But if you're still drawn in, if that's where you sit when you hear somebody like DJ sharing his lived experience, being vulnerable, talking right now how he was messed up when he went back home, and he's about to get into talking about, it says he was dating a chick at the time, so we'll see what goes on there or what happens. Then here's this little gold mine here on YouTube called the Shawn Ryan Show that you can tap into and get a really good understanding and identify if that's what you want to do or not, if this is a space that you want to work in. So I'd encourage you to go and have a look at the Shawn Ryan Show, have a look at the other shows, and look up these amazing people. I've been grateful for the suggestions that have been dropped and continue to come in. So I've got a lot of work to do. I've got so much. I'm going to, I'm drowning in the amount of requests for different reactions to things, and I will get to them. This is me, man. Like I love this. And if I have an opportunity, which I'm going to try to work, or which I am trying to work towards, meeting these people and many others, just to sit down and have a chat with them, not necessarily do a Shawn Ryan Show type thing or anything like that. Who knows? I don't think that's what it is. Maybe more somewhat selfishly, personally for me, to just be in their presence and listen to them and hear and ask questions and pick their brain and learn. That's what I'd love to do, as well as do some of their courses too. So they got some cool stuff. We don't get to do that here in NZ or in Australia. So yeah, if I can work towards getting over there and doing a course or two, then yeah, that's what I'm going to look to, well, that's what I'm working on, looking to try to do. So anyway, what's that time? I'm going to carry on with this.
Yeah. Shit just went south, dude. I was in a bad spot. Everything sent me over the edge. Just super hyper vigilant. I just couldn't shake it. And I think I really started to obsess over everything then. Like the details in training, training methodology, and just like I really became a student of the craft then. Like then I got it. Like, all the shit all these old dudes have been talking, this is why. This is what they were trying to prepare me for, but they didn't have a formula to give it to me. They didn't have a movie. They didn't have their own C story to tell me this. They just knew from training over and over and over, this is what it has to be. And they were right. Like if you make training so realistic, you don't know the difference because of your mindset, it's very hard to trip people up. If I paint it real in my mind during training, my body won't know the difference.
I'm going to pause it there just because we're on 30 minutes now. I love what he shared there, and I loved his recognition to the senior guys, to the older guys within the DEVGRU teams, the SEAL teams, the Delta teams, the SF all around. Yeah, they're preparing you. They understand, they know, and they're doing their best to prepare you for what you're about to get into. And it's a beautiful thing, having committed operators like that, staying in the game, continuing to sacrifice, continuing to serve and deploy, continuing to teach and be taught. That's a massive legacy to leave behind, in the hopes of making sure that the newer ones coming in don't make the same mistakes, in the hopes of leaving the unit, hopefully in a better place than when you arrived, or when you got there, or than when you left. It's just, that's powerful. And like I said, it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, we'll wrap this one up here. Thank you again for your time, for your patience with me as I waffle on at times. Really appreciate you being here. As always, any challenges, difficulties, hardships that you may be going through, if you're suffering right now, if you're preparing for a difficult time ahead, whether that be through work or life or loss of a loved one or employment or whatever the case might be, I encourage you to just stay in the fight. Keep turning up every day. There are better days ahead. I don't know when that will happen, but they will come. They will happen. So just keep turning up. Go always a little further. Keep taking one more step. Take each day as it comes. Try to look at each new day, each new hour, whatever the case might be, however you want to break it down, as an opportunity to hopefully try to have a positive impact in somebody else's life. And by doing that, it will always come back to you. At some point, it will always come back to you. So thank you once again for being here. Go always a little further, and remember, who dares wins. Until the next video.